In the Zone, presented by TD.
It's In the Zone, presented by TD. Ben Ennis and Mike Wilner in the new web studios. And floating above Rogers Center right now.
We're sitting on the lip where the roof closes.
A ledge, and it's kind of freaky. They have the field still made up as well, which was nice of them to do that and left the roof open for us.
There's the middle infielders are down there.
And Rob Quinlan's up for the
If you just move this way a little bit, people will see there's Rob Quinlan.
There it is. It's kind of neat to be in here, though. We get to do our own thing. Mike, not much happened on the day before the non-waiver trade deadline for the Blue Jays. It's kind of a quiet day.
Yeah, the only thing that happened was you got a lot smaller than me for some reason. It's very strange.
It's reality.
But like 5'5", maybe 110 pounds in this thing. It happened in the middle of the game too. Mm-hmm. You know, Travis Snider goes out there for the top of the seventh, for the bottom of the seventh inning in left field, and starts throwing the ball around with the ball boy and stuff. And then all of a sudden, John Farrell comes out and one of these, and Jan Gomes comes running in the bullpen. From the bullpen, and I thought, is Jeff Mathis coming out? Did they lose another catcher? There's no way they trade. I guess they could have traded Mathis, but not in this situation. And Gomes is coming in to play left field, and Snider starts doing the hug thing.
Yeah.
And we had seen that 2 hours before, watching the Cubs game and hearing the tweets and stuff.
Reed
Johnson, Giovanni Soto, both of them did the hug thing. Goodbye.
Hug
I
fest.
love you. Yeah, it really was. And then we think, well, what's going on? We know he's been traded, but is this something big? Because I think most Blue Jays fans thought if they were going to trade Travis Snider, the return was going to be a massive,
Babe Ruth.
well-known, something along those lines. A well-known major leaguer that everybody's heard of, that is established, and then we find out it's Brad Lincoln, and everybody flips out in Toronto. And interestingly, everybody flips out in Pittsburgh too.
Yeah.
They felt exactly the same way as Blue Jays fans felt, just oppositely. And then after the game, Eric Thames comes out of the Vegas game with, Thames going to play left field. He's going to play left field for the Mariners. Who knew? Who saw that one coming?
Yeah.
And as much as there's been this little among the fans saying, no, Alex Anthopoulos really isn't a ninja, and you hear about these things, just little snippets before they happen, but you do hear about them. Not true at all. Nobody heard about Snider to Pittsburgh. Nobody heard about Thames to Seattle. And the return, Steve Delabar and Brad Lincoln, you've got a couple of really big-armed, controllable, right-handed relief pitchers who could wind up being dominant back at the end of the bullpen guys.
But that's the key, the relief pitchers.
Yeah.
And,
that's a little disappointing.
You're talking about guys that can play 162 games in a regular season, in outfielders, in Travis Snider. Obviously, he's never been given that opportunity at a major league level.
Yep.
But the value of a guy that could produce at what we think Travis Snider can and maybe will prove to be able to do that in Pittsburgh, as opposed to even one of the best relievers, even a guy that's a shutdown closer who's going to get into 60, 70 innings, you hope? How can you equate the two? It seems to me...
Obviously that they just did, right?
Yeah.
That's what Travis Snider was worth. Or that's what Brad Lincoln was worth.
Isn't this what we made fun of the Cardinals for, though, last year with the Colby Rasmus trades? They put such a high value on relievers that they were willing to give up a great talent in Colby Rasmus?
Different, because the St. Louis Cardinals won the World Series.
Yeah.
And the St. Louis Cardinals were in that position. I think when they made the trade, they were a half game back, even though they wound up being way farther back and coming back to win the division. But the Cardinals was an absolute win-now move. And this isn't for the Blue Jays. And Colby Rasmus and Travis Snider, as much as I love Travis Snider, and I do, I don't know if there's been a bigger supporter of Travis.
So much man love.
Seriously, there is. There's a ton of man love here.
It's crazy.
But I don't know if there's been a bigger supporter of Snider throughout his tenure in Toronto than I've been. And as much as I love Travis Snider, Colby Rasmus was a far, far, far more accomplished major leaguer when he got traded to the Blue Jays than Snider was when he got traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I still think Travis is going to be a star. I think he's going to be a perennial all-star. It's going to be tougher in Pittsburgh. It's a tough hitting environment, but it's a National League Central. I think he's established himself already as a superior defensive outfielder in the major leagues.
Yep.
He can steal bases, and I don't know, people still think of him as this fat guy who can't do anything. But he will
tweets out pictures of meat.
Right, all the time. He will be a 25-25 guy, at least, I think, on a regular basis.
Really?
I think he can steal more.
That's a lot of stolen bases.
He had 6 stolen bases last April, and he got sent down, and he was hitting 180, and the on base was about 240, and he had 6 stolen bases in 1 month. So he can run. and he can field. What we haven't seen him be able to do is hit. And hopefully that comes around now that he's going to get this opportunity. He's batting second for the Pirates, which is great.
Great spot for
because
him.
you know the Blue Jays never let him hit anywhere but ninth for like the first 3 years of his career.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this is what his value is. This is a guy who's never established himself, who has struck out in almost a third of his career plate appearances in the major leagues, who is going to be out of options next year. This is what they could get. And this is what they wanted, because they wouldn't have traded him just because they felt they had to. I don't think they felt they had to trade him. This is what they wanted, and this is what they had to give up to get it.
Obviously, and we mentioned Travis Snider, a very popular Blue Jay, despite not an exceedingly long track record.
Not in the spring.
No.
Right?
Yeah, right.
And not last fall. Everybody hated him back then.
Mm-hmm. Now they love him. But let's hear from Travis Snider after his final game as a Blue Jay.
First of all, thank you to everybody in Toronto, the organization, the fans, and can't say thank you enough for sticking with me through this journey, and looking forward to a new opportunity. I haven't really been called off the field like that before, so I really didn't know what was going on. I thought maybe it was a lineup mistake or something like that, but again, at this time of the year things are going to happen, and really just wanted to get an opportunity to say goodbye to some of those guys. Every guy on that team, play hard for them. Great group of guys, and gonna miss them. I'm excited to be a part of a contending organization. Opportunity to play in October is what we all dream about, and again, it's tough to say goodbye, but at the same time, I'm excited for the new opportunity.
So yeah, Travis Snider, obviously a beloved Blue Jay, and apparently in the clubhouse as well. Everybody loved him. Good friends with the Brett Lawrie.
Ricky Romero tweeted out that he's losing a brother here. I mean, these guys have been together a long time.
And I think before the first game of the series, I guess after they wrapped up that homestand against the Tigers, they arrived that night in Seattle, and obviously
16 of them.
16 of them went to Snider. He's from the Pacific Northwest.
To go crush food, as he put it.
That was a nice going away.
Yeah,
maybe he had an inkling.
Yeah, it was. I don't think he had an inkling.
Man, maybe not. All right, let's talk
about...
And
in fact, a senior official of the Toronto Blue Jays, when I was talking to him on Sunday, said, I think this is the first time Travis is ever going to get to play in Seattle. I was wrong. He'd played one series in 5 years.
Wow.
But it was like every time the Jays were about to play the Mariners, he either got sent down or got hurt. And I said, I really hope he makes it. I don't want to jinx anything. And he said to me, he's not going anywhere.
Really?
He's not going anywhere. So this may have happened very, very quickly.
Wow. He's Mike Wilner. Follow him on Twitter. Like he needs more followers, but follow him anyways. Wilnerness590. Follow me on Twitter. I'm the one that needs the followers. I want to get to 1,000. I'm making pleas out there on the audio podcast.
You really
well
are.
On Sportsnet590. I don't care. I'll get on my knees. I don't care. Bennis Esnet. Also listen to our audio podcast on Sportsnet590.ca. This has been In the Zone, presented by TD. We'll see you next week.